Hey, what's going on, fellow trade geniuses? This is Philip, and today I wanted to go over logging. Logging that's good for your trading and doesn't affect the planet. Yeah, so we're going to go over some trade logging ideas. My last video, we covered expectancy, and expectancy takes your percentage of winners times the average winner minus the percentage of losers times the average loser. And that number you want to that equation you want to come out to a positive number that gives you positive expectancy, and that's required in any trading strategy that you do. However, without logging your trades, you really don't know how that breaks down. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you a log that I did. This was for a setup that we were testing last year. We're always testing things, looking at analytics, crunching data. It never ends. So we were looking when the volatility was up last year. We were looking at certain time periods of the day where the 20-minute binaries offered us an opportunity to put on a squeeze, which means that basically what we would do is, as the 20-minute binaries populated, you would take whatever strike was at $10 on the sell side. So you'd sell for around 10 on average, and on the bottom, the buy side, you'd buy it around 90. So you were capturing $10 per side, and what we were trying to get was about a 4 point bracket. Okay, so what you're doing on a squeeze like that is you're expecting price not to move during that 20 minutes. If it does move against you, the rule was if it hit your strike, you got out, because that way you could make it back up in about 3 trades. So this log represents that setup. Okay, so what you can do with logging in Excel is you can have a nice summary. There's a summary tab here, and it's a nice representation of the data. So what I did on this particular one was I set up a day a week performance, so we could see that in this stretch of data that we collected, Thursday, Friday weren't so hot. Really, the profitable days were Monday and Tuesday, and that's kind of interesting to see the data like that, because you're not always looking at that when you're logging your stuff. But if you have it set up to collect data in this way, things like that can really jump out at you. Maybe change the way that you trade during the week. Maybe Monday, Tuesday you size up, Wednesday size down a little bit, and maybe not even trade Thursday, Friday for that particular setup. I did a summary stat on this side that kind of just gives you more of a profit and loss look. This is more of a graphical representation. It's nice to look at things in different ways, I think. In this particular log, we just had these different trade, we call them brackets, you can call them squeezes, but basically basically we created a different trade for each particular time of day bracket that we were doing. So we were testing the 12:20, 20-minute binary expiration, 12:40, 142, 240, and 3. Now in this particular one, you can see again what trade or what time of day, what bracket was working. 2 o'clock expiration bracket, not so hot. 240, kind of break even with the loss. One loser, need about 3 winners to make up one loser. So that's why the 14 and 6 is just about break even. And then the 3 o'clock was okay. But really what you saw was you had a lot of success here, especially on the 1240 bracket. So what you could do is you could take the most profitable brackets. So let's say the 12, if you really wanted to whittle it down, just say the 1220 and the 1240 expiration. So you could say, I'm going to take those on Monday and Tuesday. And that's why having these kinds of informational breakdowns is helpful, because then it really, I think, shows you that with like a bright light, a particular part of the week or a particular type of trade that's really working. So you may just want to focus on just that combination of trade and trade date, and all of a sudden your P&L and your account starts consistently moving up. But things are cyclical too, right? So that may change over time. But if I was just logging this, I would probably really focus on these two time periods for this particular type of trade, and really focus on these Monday, Tuesday. I'd probably do Wednesday too, but just maybe not as many contracts. By the way, this was taking two contracts per side. So you sell two for $10 premium capture, and you bought two for $10 premium capture. Uh, Another type of way to graphically break it down was profit and loss by trade type. And again, it's more of a visual thing. You can see what the P&L was per time period. Okay. So, and then also your win loss. So basically all this information is here. It's just, I think if you look at it graphically, you're going to go, whoa, look at that. Tuesday, Monday. Wow, that's cool. And then that kind of just jumps out at you. Then you can kind of get a little more granular, or just a little more detail on the side here that just has it broken down by P&L, dollars and cents. So like I said, it's nice to have two different ways to look at maybe the same data. Okay, so the way this was set up was that you could actually take the Nadex data. This was really set up for logging Nadex trades. So you could take the Nadex data from their website and suck it down into a comma separated format, which opens natively in Excel. So it comes out like a spreadsheet. You can copy that data and then move it into the log in here. So what I did is create a tab for each week. Okay. So this data here, all this is downloaded directly from the Nadex transaction logs. Okay. What I like about that is, one, you don't have to worry about immediately logging a trade. Two, your commissions are already built into this, right? And then three, you could just go back at the end of the day and download the day's worth of data and fill in your logs. And the way it would work is this here, that's a manual thing that you put in. The cells aren't locked. This represented one bracket, okay? This data here represented one bracket. So you would put at the end of that data, that last line, you'd put it whether it was a winner or a loser. The trade type was a drop down menu, which would call to this tab here, trade types, and this holds all the different trade types that you'd want to log. Okay, so you can tweak this to whatever you're looking at to log. Okay, it doesn't have to be just these. Those are things that you can totally manipulate and tailor to your particular trades. So anyway, but for the example of this, we had those particular trades were being tracked. So I made a drop down menu, then you select whatever bracket was in play at that time, and you selected that. And the reason why you did that is because then it would track the trades over here. Then this information gets called to the summary page, and that's how you can figure out, per trade what's going on. So that's kind of the framework on how it works. And I'm showing this to you because this was a way I like to get the data, and it was just something kind of trial and error. Just started putting stuff together. But like I said, the ability to suck down the information from Nadex, and I think that was primarily what I was after. I wanted to be able to pull down the data from Nadex and put it in a log. That's the pro. The only, the con to this is that you have to manually put this information, has to line up with the trade. So you can paste all this information in here, but then you have to start looking at, the trade time. Okay. Actually, you'd look at this where the 1220. So all the 1220 stuff, you got to make sure that you have this separated from, say, the 1240 stuff. So that's the manual part of it. But the logging of the info is all there. So the manual part is just segregating the data, right? So in this particular one, we have 1240. We have 1240 data here, that this block here. So at the end of the block, you're going to go put a winner, pick the particular trade, and then this is your net on the trade, which if I F2 it, you'll see is just a manual sum of that block of data. So that's just the manual part that you have to do. Once you do all that, this part here tallies up the days total. So that day all 5 brackets worked, and that netted $186.40. So that's the daily subtotals. So you go down, that's just your daily subtotal. Okay, so that's kind of the framework of how this trading log is laid out, okay? And like under trade types, you can put as many as you want, and then you come back and you would basically, this area here would be all the amount of trades, and then you would adjust this over here to call for those cells and be able to tally them up. And all of the formulas and stuff are in here for that. So the next thing is, so how do I pull the data down from Nadex? Okay, so here's your Nadex account, right? You're going to go into my account. You're going to go into history. Okay, so let's do that again. You're going to go into my account. You're going to go into history. You're going to go into transactions. That's the one you want, transactions, because that shows all of the gives and takes. It has the commissions in there and everything. So that's what you want. From there, you can go last 24 hours, or you can go down to the last 6 hours, or you can go up to the last 90 days. You can also choose a day. Let's just say Monday. Okay, we'll pull down Monday's data. Okay, so whatever you need to get, whether it's the last 6 hours or the last 24 hours or a particular day, you then hit download history. Okay, so I'm using Chrome, so it pops up down here and it gives you a comma separated value file, which is a .csv, opens natively in Excel. Alright, so we click on that, and there's that data that you saw in the log. Okay, so this can tell you, you could do a quick sum like this if you wanted to, just to kind of see how your day went at a glance, and you get a quick sum down here. That this was last Monday, almost $500 day. But you can, so that's what you do. Then you copy this, and you move it into the particular, you would put it in a particular week, and you paste it in here. I'm just going to paste it just so you guys can see. I got to copy it first. And so you can paste it in there, and then you just group the trades together. So that's how that works. Okay. So that's a quick idea. I'm going to actually adjust this spreadsheet to include an expectancy function. So you'll have the trade performance. You'll also have, so under the summary stats, you'll have trade performance. On a P&L basis, you'll also have an expectancy for each one. So this will just be an expectancy calculation. I may put it on a column next to it, maybe. But in any case, because that's really key, because what happens is if something starts to go negative expectation, you're not necessarily going to see it reflected immediately on the P&L, because that means you're getting a drawdown, but your historical P&L will still look positive. So that's kind of like telling you short term something's going, the trade's not working. So I'm going to add that in. If you guys want this template, and you're okay with updating it the way I showed you, and the manual aspect of it, and it's the log I use, but I want to get that expectancy column in there first before disseminating that. So if you guys use subscribers to the service, I can get this out to you if you want it. Just shoot me an email, which I've tweeted out to you guys, my email, and request it. Probably won't have it ready for a week or two, just because of my schedule, but I think if you guys don't have a log, or if you guys aren't logging, or you don't like the way your log is, you might like the way that the summary page gives you a summary representation, whether it be graphical or just numbers, P&L. That tells you what's working and when it's working. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. If you got any questions, leave some comments below. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're just browsing, haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. At the end of the day, you want to have your wins and your losses. That's going to give you your win rate. And this goes back to the expectancy calculation. So when you're logging, you need to have wins and losses, how much you made on the winners, how much you made on the losers. And that'll give you a way to give yourself a way to calculate the expectancy, okay? And that's, to me, the most important thing, expectancy, positive expectancy. If you have not seen the expectancy video, I suggest you go watch it. That will make sense as to what I'm getting at. Hopefully that'll help you evaluate your trading strategies. All right, guys, until next time, happy trading. Take care.